Hello everyone. So in this video we will be learning about ReactJs. We will cover each and every topic, but it will be a crash course. That means within one video you will learn everything, and you will also get hands-on, and you will know every topic of React, like states, props, components, hooks. All the topics we will try to cover. So let's begin. So first of all, let me show you how you where you will write the code. So you can open jscomplete.com/playground, where you can write React, but you can also practice it in W3 School, or you can use npm to download React. So ReactJs, if you open, so first we will cover how you do the installation. So either what you do, I will show you both the ways. Okay, I will show you all the ways. W3 School React, and here is the installation. But if you want to use React in a single page, okay, if you want to use it with CDN links, then these three links you must add in your HTML code. You must add these three links in your HTML code, and then you have a div, and when you write the script, make sure in the script type you must add this line text/babel. Okay, otherwise React won't be working. Okay, so you must add this in script, and you must add these three CDN links, only then it will work in a single page. If you are installing it using npm, okay, let's come to that. So if you are installing it using npm, then or yarn or whatever, so installation is here. So getting started, let me go to create a new React app, and see, you will get the steps. So in the command window you have to then write, you have to first of all install node, and then only it will have npm, and then you can npm create React app. With create React app you can create ReactJs application cd, and go into that folder, and then npm start, and that will start your React application. But for now we will do it in this manner over here, okay, in jscomplete. So just to let you know, here it will be document.get element by id, and it will be like this root, and your HTML file. I'm not writing code, I'm just showing you how I will show you the explanation for this line. Okay, so here let's say you have a div in the HTML file, and you have an ID of root. Okay, so whatever you do in your React code, it will this is the React component, and where it will render, this is the React component we will be creating. Okay, and where it will render inside the document.get element by id root. Okay, but since I am using this, so if you see W3 schools and React, okay, inside that let's go to component just to show you one thing. So if you see, it's document.get element by id root. Okay, this is the way you do, but since we are doing in jscomplete, so we have to write mount node. Okay, so that's how it's written. So and we first import React. Okay, import React from React. Okay, and then we'll have class app extends react.component render return div. I will explain this. Okay, so and here you have hello world. Let's run this. You have hello world. So what is this? It looks like HTML, but this is not HTML. Just to let you know, this is JSX. Okay, JSX is a language which is just like HTML, but this is only for React. Okay, some things are similar, some are not. For example, let's say when you have HTML, if you have CSS, you will write class. You will write class equals like this in HTML, but here it's class name. Okay, some things are a bit different over here. Okay, other than this, this is how we write React code. Okay, now let's talk about state. Okay, let's talk about state, but before that, one more thing. This is component. Okay, this is component. Why? What is a component? Let's say you break a code into functions, modules. When you write a code in JavaScript, you break the code into modules. Okay, that is functions. And here it's you can every React part is a component. Okay, so you can have two type of component. One is class component, and another one is functional component. So you can have function, and you can have, let's say, car. This is your functional component, and within this, let's say you have return, and within this you have div, and within this you have another which one, or let's say h3, and you have my car name is BMW. Okay, so this will not give an error, but it's not showing anywhere. So how do you show that inside a React class component or another component? How you do that? There is a, this is called this is how you call them. Okay, so car. Okay, and you run it. You see, my car name is BMW. But let's say you want to reuse this, so this has some reusability feature. Okay, so if you write car twice, okay, if you write car twice, you will get this 2 times. But let's say you want to change the name for the second line to something else, or you want to pass it. How you do that? So there is this is called passing props. Okay, you are passing props. So how do you pass props? So let's say this first one we are passing BMW, and for the second one we are passing Mercedes. Okay, so now you do this, it will not show anything. Why? Because you are not using that props. So you do like this, you are passing the props now, and now you can do like this, and within this curly braces you have props dot car name, and this time you get my car is BMW and the my car is Mercedes. So you get this, so you are reusing this and you are passing different props. So this is props, and now let's look into state. Okay, so this is component, we have covered component, we have covered what is prop. Now let's come to state. Okay, so this is state, and within this we have, let's say, a count or a counter of 0. Okay, and here we have h1 and this dot state dot count. You run this, you get 0. Okay, let's say how do we increase this? How do we increase this? So we can do that using one life cycle, I will show you one life cycle method. So component did mount, component did mount. So this is actually life cycle method. How this works is, see, first when this component is called over here, it will render this DOM element. Okay, so it will render this part, and as soon as this gets rendered, this will be the first thing called. Okay, so this is life cycle methods. And here what we'll do is, we will do this dot, let's give it a name, let's say ticker. Okay, and set interval, and we have inside the set interval we have a method. Okay, so we have a method of count, or we have a method, let's say this dot tick. Okay, so we are calling a different method inside this. Okay, and how often we will call it every 1000 millisecond. Okay, so here we will be calling that, and we will have another function. So our function name is tick, and this here we will have this dot set state, and here we will have count, this dot state dot count plus 1. So let's run this. Where is the error? This is a function, so I believe there will be this. Let's run it once again. So this isn't working. So component did mount. So I found out that what was the issue is, there should be this dot, so there should be this dot ticker. Okay, so this should not be this dot. Okay, so it should not be just like ticker only, it should have a this dot. That's the reason why we were getting an error. So let's say we are calling it after 3000 milliseconds, and what we are I will explain every line. Okay, so you see the counter is running. Okay, so now let me explain what is happening. So this is a life cycle method, okay, which is called the first time the DOM element is loaded, and in this case we are having a this dot set interval. So we are calling this ticker method after every 3000 milliseconds. Okay, after every 3000 milliseconds we are calling this function, and when this function is called, it is changing the state or updating the state using this dot set state function, and it is changing the count state, which is initially 0, with count plus 1. Okay, so a counter is running, and it is getting displayed inside this render. Okay, so every time this is getting called, okay, this is running and this is calling this method, and this method is actually displaying it over here. Okay, so this is component did mount. Now this is already mounted. Okay, so how do you unmount this? Okay, so you have component did component will unmount. Component with will unmount is another method, which actually what this function will do is, whenever, let's say, this sticker is removed, let's say this DOM element is removed from this web page, as soon as that happens, this will be called. Okay, and this will, for now, it will clear interval, and which it will clear this dot ticker. Okay, so this will initially be running, but whenever this cloud page is this DOM element is removed, okay, whenever this ticker DOM element is removed, this will get called and it will clear the interval, and that's it. So now this is what is lifecycle. There is one more lifecycle method which is component did update, and there are some more, I believe. So this is lifecycle method. Okay, now let's see how we what we do is how we call events. Okay, how we have events in our React DOM, okay, or JSX. How we call an event, and when we click something, something happens. How do we do that? So we have a button. We have a button of, let's say, increment. We have a button named increment, and on click, what we do is we call a function this dot handle click. So you can name this function anything, not just handle click, but for now I am considering this. So handle click is a function, and so this is called, by the way, arrow function. You can write simple function as well, but here the syntax in React you preferably use arrow functions. Okay, so here what you do is you pass the event. Okay, that's for form, so we won't do that now. So what we will do is we will just on click we will change the counter. So this dot set state. So what we'll do, we will set the state of count to this dot state dot count plus 1. Okay, so if you run this, here is the button, and whenever you click, you see the counter is getting incremented only on click. Got it? So this is how this works. Now we will show form handling. So how you use forms inside ReactJs. So okay, so for that, let's say you have username and you have a username. Okay, for now we will have only one input inside the form, and in the form you have a input type. Let me just confirm the recording is on. Okay, and let me check my microphone. Okay, we are good. So this is the input of type text, and we have a type of text, and we have a name of, let's say, username, and we have a value. Okay, value of, let's say, hello. For now, if you run this, you will have a value of hello, but we want to change it or update it whenever we type. For now, if you type anything, nothing will happen because you are not changing or updating the value state. Okay, so for this you have to give this dot handle change, this dot handle change, and you have to write a function handle change equals you have e, and you will have this dot set state. What you will set the state to, you will whatever we type over here, you want to store that value inside the state variable username. So how do we do that is user name equals e dot target dot value. Okay, that's how we write. So now if you type something, okay, let me see, e dot target dot value, and we are storing that in the username, and oh, my mistake. So what it was, see, on change we have this dot handle change. Okay, it was a mistake. So it will be value, you have this dot state dot value. Okay, so value you have this dot state dot value, which is in this case user name, and on change event, whenever you type something, you are changing something, on change this dot handle change. So handle change function will be called, and it should have change the state of this username and set the state to this e.target.value will bring whatever you have typed over there. So you write something, this is working, this is working. Okay, so now what you do is you have a button, input type will be submit, input type will be submit, and on the form submit you want something to happen. So how do you do that? So this, so on submit equals, and this dot handle submit, and this is the function, you can name it anything. I am giving handle submit just for understanding, and you have e, and you will have first of all e dot prevent default. So if you are aware, e dot prevent default will prevent the page from reloading after you submit. Okay, that's it, and nothing much. Now what we do, on submit we will alert, what we will alert, hello, and hello to the user, so username, and then you have this dot state dot user name. So you write something over here, let's say Prithviraj, and you submit, it will show hello Prithviraj. Got it? So this is how this is working. So now we have covered states, events, props, functional component, state component, we have covered all this, and lifecycle methods as well. Okay, so great progress so far. Now what I will do is I will also show you one more thing, which is hooks in ReactJs. So what is hooks? What is hooks? So there is use state and use effect. Okay, just a minute. So we have use state and we have use state and use effect. Okay, we have use state and use effect. Okay, so what is use state and what is use effect? These are recently introduced for functional components. So let's say you have a functional component, not a state component. So in functional component you cannot use state. So in that case you can use only prop inside a functional component. So in that case how you use state? So for that you have this. So with use state, what you do, you have const and you have, let's say, count, and you have the function which will update the count. Okay, and this is the, you can name it anything, but this is how we name it. So use state, so we initialize that with 0. Okay, so here is our functional component, and we will have return, we'll have return, and inside return we will have our div, and we will, what we will do is we will display first of all our count. So it's initially 0. Got it? Let's put it inside a h1 so that it's more visible. So it's initially 0. Now we have an event. Okay, we have an event, and that's increment. Okay, so how do we increase? So on click you have, so on click what you have is we call this method set count. So we call this method set count, and what we do is count plus 1, that's what we set. So let's click, you click on it, and it will just like you in a class, you have state and events, you can have that over here as well. So this is the purpose of React hooks. Okay, and use effect, just like in React class component, you have lifecycle methods. In a functional component, how will you have a lifecycle method? So for that they have given this use effect. So use effect is a way so use effect is a way in which you can accomplish that thing as well. Okay, so you can accomplish the lifecycle method thing as well. So this is the function of use effect, and in the use effect here you can pass props, okay, and you can pass state. Got it? So that's how you pass props and state. So in this case we will pass our count. Okay, we will have our count, and let's say we have this, we don't have this, we have it inside a p tag, and we have count, and in use effect what we do is we'll have document dot title, and what you do is your count is, and you have your count. So now when you increase, it's showing this. Okay, so why is it not getting called? Okay, your count is, so now so when how this is happening is, okay, so how this is happening is when this is getting called, okay, when the function or the DOM element loads this first component app, as soon as that loads, just like component did mount, this use effect will get called. Okay, so use effect will get called, and it will initially display this, and then when you click on this, it will set the count to 1 2 3, and it will automatically increment that, and that's how it is working. Okay, so this is React. We have covered all the topics mostly. Okay, so this is just like component did mount and component did update. Okay, it's just like in component class component, you have component did mount and component did update. Similarly in state, in this functional component, you have use effect with which you can accomplish the function of lifecycle methods. And this is actually document.title is actually, we are using the document API, okay, the HTML API which is available, we are using that. And so we have basically, what are the topics, just recap. So we have covered components. Okay, so let's recap. So we have covered, okay, one more thing is let's say we have a class component, class app extends react dot component, and here we have render. Okay, in the render function we have return, in the return we have div, and within the div we have h1, and within the h1 let's say we have hello. Okay, so this is it. We have this. Okay, so React component, and what it's showing, component spelling mistake or anything, React component. but whatever, I have to check that. But my here my okay, this components is showing. Okay, so this is our hello. Now we want to color this or provide a style. Okay, how do you do that? So either you can use a class name. Okay, you can use class name, and what you can do is you can write a separate CSS file and import you can import it like this dot, okay, app.css, okay, and in this way you can import that file over here and you can use it using class name. This is one way. Okay, this is one way, but we can use with another way. Okay, style equals, here you write color is green. So as this is JSX, you will notice that it's a slightly different, but in case you are using it with class name and you are using it with you are providing the style sheet in the HTML, then you can use it just like a normal style sheet. But if you are using this way, then the syntax is slightly different, but this is how, see, green. Okay, but if let's say you don't want to write it over here, then how you want to write it? So I'm just giving a name. Okay, you can write my header, you can write any name. I'm writing my header and const my header. Okay, my header, and you are giving here color is blue. You run this and this will give blue color. Okay, so that's how you write add colors using CSS. So hope you enjoyed this video and you have learned something from it. So this was a crash course where we have covered all the topics mostly. Okay, so let's just recap. Let's have a quick recap of whatever we have covered so far. So we have covered components. Okay, out of component we have functional and class based components. Okay, then we have covered state and events. We have covered props. Okay, we have covered props. We have covered life cycle methods. We have covered hooks. Okay, we have covered hooks. We have covered which hooks contains use state and use effect, and we have covered how to add CSS. So hope you enjoyed this video, you have learned something from it, and we have also covered form handling. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this video, you have learned something from it. So this is a crash course video. So thanks for watching guys, and bye.